Welcome to the Rouxgaroux Live Show, and I'm Curt, and let's welcome in my co-host, Brian Mathern.
Hey, Curt.
How you doing, Brian?
All right.
Got a lot to talk about on this show.
That's putting it mildly.
That's putting my know. Well, let's get started. I just wanted to show my magnet here that you sent me, which I really like. Pretty awesome. I can't get my film off yet, but I definitely will get my film off that. It's got like a protective covering on it. I'll get that off there.
Yeah.
But thank you, Brian.
Sure.
And these guys in this here, these stickers, Louisiana Voodoo Magic Group stickers.
Your background is covering up the sticker.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Well, it showed the magnet probably because it's small, but I do have the stickers. They are awesome. Well, last week, we had to postpone mainly. I had a lot of stuff going on, but I didn't want to, talk about that a little bit. Postpone it. We'll make up for it on this one. I didn't download the new trailer that I did another trailer for us guys for the podcast, but I'll get that up here next week, next Tuesday, hopefully, if we do one next Tuesday. And we know the Roux is playing my favorite team tonight, the Beef. Oh, I love that. I love that team so much.
You like the mascot sirloin?
Yeah, I know. I do not. I think it's stupid. No, really though, I don't care for that at all.
But it's fitting. It's sirloin.
Yeah, yeah, it's fitting.
It's sirloin.
It's fitting. Definitely fitting.
Yeah,
for the Beef. Hopefully,
they do have a nice turf though.
Yeah, they got good. Yeah, they got good turf, but I just don't like the team. I shouldn't say that, but I don't care for them. Them or Beaumont Renegades. But anyway, maybe the Roux will be having some steak tonight.
We could only pray.
We're hoping for it. That's all we can do.
Being that Omaha is the longest running indoor franchise today since 2001, that they've been almost in every possible league except the AFL. And the turnovers and everything that we've had on the roster this past week that we'll go over in a little bit. And the Roux scheduling the makeup game the same week as the playoffs. I think if you calculate it, we only have a 1% chance of making the playoffs. So
they would have to win out, right? Win out every game. And
yes. And Wheeling has to win both of their games for us to. We would be technically like in a tie, but because of the head-to-head that we played Wheeling the one time and beat them, then we would get in.
Wow. Oh, man.
But beating Omaha and beating Beaumont back-to-back weeks with a roster that is not even, players from last week. There's only seven players carried over from last week with the turnovers. And, it's virtually impossible.
Yeah, I know it. They had one heck of a team in the beginning of the season. There was just so many strange games, especially the Beaumont game there. I thought for sure they should have won that one, and I don't know. There's a lot of different plays that penalties on them and things that weren't called and things that was called, and I think it set the Roux back this year.
We'd be in a better place today if we would have pulled out that Beaumont win.
Yeah. I think they know it too. That's why that couple of plays there were just standout plays that would have changed the whole direction of the game.
Yep. We'd be 4-3. We'd be tied with Columbus right now, and Wheeling's 3-5. So.
Yeah. Here's this game tonight that we're looking at as a graphic that we got from you.
Yeah, that's the cover I did for the game program. I'm still waiting on Coach to send me the roster any minute now, and then I'm gonna do a QR code in the Rouxgaroux fan club GC Facebook page, and that's where I host them there in that fan club. So anybody who wants to download PDF or scan the QR code with your phone, you can look at the roster because you'll need it tonight because you won't be able to tell besides 7 people out of the 24 who's who on the Rouxgaroux team tonight.
Yeah, that's strange. I mean, I used to know them almost by heart, but now you're looking at the roster now,
Yeah.
and I mean, she put Rouxgaroux game day roster. This for tonight's game.
That was what I had yesterday, and then I filled in a lot of the blanks there. They're all Dallas Falcons players with no college experience, but I did fill in all the positions and everything. But come to find out, the one of the owners had taken the contracts that he was getting and just submit them all to the league office. So that's why literally in one day we had 30 transactions.
Wow.
To recap, of course, Monday after the game, we had Cameron McCauley was suspended by the league due to the brawl. So that was one person off the roster. 2 days later, this past Wednesday, they cut 5 players, which included the quarterback, Hollis, because, of course, he's got the broken ankle.
Yeah.
Thursday, we signed 5 players from the Falcons, cut 7 of our own players, and also signed another 18 players that day. So that was 30 total transactions, which is what you see here on the screen. For some reason, Chase, Charles Baker,
Yeah.
he got cut and then he got re-signed. So I don't know if that was an accident. So that was 2 of the 30 transactions for that day for some reason. I have no idea.
So this is the actual game day roster for as of yesterday.
Yes.
And I don't recognize a lot of these guys on here, to tell you the truth. Honest to God, they don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The ones without numbers on the far left, the ones without numbers are the ones that either came from the Dallas Falcons, came from the Louisville Savage, or from Coach T. Will's Louisiana Tigers, which is an amateur football team up in Shreveport.
Man, I don't recognize any of these guys. I'm trying to check these names, and I don't recognize none of them.
Well, look at who's below Laughing House.
Laughing House. Now, where is he at?
Number 10, Tyron. Go down to the T's. Look at who's below Tyrone Washington.
Oh, okay.
The owner player of the Dallas Falcons. He actually signed on with us also.
So he's signed on with
Shreveport.
Oh my God. How can that happen?
Well, my question is, who are we going to play June 5th in that makeup game? It's supposed to be Shreveport versus the Dallas Falcons for another rematch, And if we signed all their players, who are we playing June 5th?
Oh my God. This is complicated.
Yeah, they have nobody on their team to play.
Yes,
we absorbed all their players.
Oh my God. So how are we supposed to have a makeup game?
I don't know. We still got 2 weeks to figure it out, I guess.
Wow, that's crazy.
So Coach told me today that they're only playing 3 Falcons players. Because what you see right here is what's on the league website. But what they're actually going with tonight, and that's what I'm waiting on that roster, there's 3 Falcons players, 16 Rouxgaroux players that are either current or former So it's players that we cut earlier in the year that they're bringing back, and 4 new linemen. So if you figure the seven that have jersey numbers, which are that have been with the team for a while, Laughing House,
Yeah.
Paul,
Yeah.
Javon Russ, Chase, Dixon, Adrian, those 7 players and another 9 that they brought back to make 16, and usually rosters 23 people,
Yeah.
So there's only 3 Falcons players. Well, all these Falcons players, I guess, were offered contracts if they were needed for tonight's game to make them eligible to play in case we needed them. So I'm thinking that's the route that was taken to. That's why you see so many transactions.
Wow, man. So starting next season, it's probably going to be practically a brand new team.
Yeah,
probably.
You might have maybe two of these 7 stay.
Wow.
It was a combination of we got the one guy was suspended by the league. I was told that another one had to work tonight, so he couldn't attend the Omaha game. Another one actually completely left the sport of indoor football. So there was a lot of reasons, There's rumors going around that they weren't paid or players quit, disagreements, whatever, So there was a lot of turmoil and turnover this past week,
Yeah,
So,
I couldn't keep up with it. I just couldn't keep up with it. It was so many people leaving and this and that, and I couldn't keep up with it. And I can't believe it. You know what I mean? Some of the players that I really liked, they're gone. So
the league has us at 34 players right now on their website. I don't know how they allowed that many transactions to go through to build it up to 34, but I guess before a kickoff they have to, officially cut so many people to get the roster down to 23.
Wow. Well, let's check the standings for the matchups for week 12, Brian.
So we got Columbus is playing at Wheeling tonight at 6. Let's see. Columbus has a 4-3 record versus Wheeling's 3-5. Like we said, we need to root for Wheeling to win that one. Of course, our game's at 6:30 tonight, Central Time, at Omaha. Of course, everybody knows we got to win that one.
Oh, I'm scared of that game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's not another Albany Corpus Christi.
So I'm afraid for that game. I'm afraid somebody's due to blow out the Rouxgaroux, which they haven't blown the Rouxgaroux out all year. The Rouxgaroux were close to knocking the door down, I believe, but now maybe the Beef might get them this week. I don't know. I hope not, but
they beat us in week 1, 41-18. So it could be that bad again or worse.
Yeah, I'm hoping not. But a lot of our players that I used to like are gone.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, Samuels is he still there? Samuels, remember that little Kevon Samuels?
Hold on, let me. Got Kayvon Samuels. Where's the other Samuels? I'm not seeing them.
Yeah, he used to come up with some outrageous plays. He was all over the place.
No, it looks like he must be gone.
I used to like that. I was just getting used to that quarterback Serrano too,
Yeah. Only Samuels I see is Kayvon, the running back.
Yeah, the running back. Yep.
Yeah, he was cut on the 22nd. He was in that batch of 7 cuts.
I'm gonna miss him.
Him, Mustafa, Meadows,
Yep.
linebacker, Rashad Powell.
Oh, linebacker Meters, right? Meters. Is it Meters or Meters?
I don't know. I pronounce it Meadows. I don't know. Darius Meadows,
Yep.
number 32.
Yep. He's good too.
Yeah, he was part of that 7. Kyle Lester, lineman, and Jerry Harris Jr. were the 7 that were cut. That day. Like I said, they included Chase, but then they re-signed him. I guess it was by accident or whatever. I'm not sure. Unless they renegotiated his contract or something. I'm not sure.
And that third game there with the Spartans and Bandits, that's on tonight, Saturday.
So yeah, that's a 7:00 game, our time, Central Time Zone, should I say. Colorado is 6-2, Sioux City's 3-5. That really has no bearing because both Sioux City and Iowa are both eliminated out of the playoffs. Really, Colorado's got to win that and hope for us to win for them to host the game against Omaha because it's a lock. It's already Omaha and Colorado play next week. Is it just a matter of who hosts the game? So if Colorado can win and we can win, then Colorado will host the game instead of Omaha.
Well, Beaumont, they're already knocked
They're
out,
in.
aren't they?
Yes.
They're already out of it. So
No, Beaumont is in. Beaumont's locked in.
they're locked in already?
Yeah, 6-1.
No, I didn't think they were 6-1. I thought, well, okay. I didn't think they shouldn't have been 6-1. Some of them games they shouldn't have won.
But of course, Beaumont takes on that semi-pro team, the Alabama Empire. Like I said, Beaumont will just be playing this game, get a win. They'll be 7-1, and have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So as long as they win tonight, then they'll play us next week. They'll probably be 8-1, and then they'll host the playoff game with whoever, whether it's us, Columbus, or Wheeling, get into the playoffs. And they'll host it, and then if they win that one, then they'll host the NAL championship game.
So we got to hope for Wheeling to beat the Lions, right?
Right.
And hope we got to beat the Beef.
Miraculously, yes.
Miraculously, I don't see it happen, but you know what? Maybe, keep our fingers crossed. They might win.
No, I mean, I think with booking the Dallas makeup game on June 5th, that same weekend as the playoffs, they already chalked it up to they know, that 1% chance.
Yeah, it's not much of a chance.
We'd have a better chance if we didn't have that brawl and have people,
So, Brian, who is this guy? He's off Dave Tennyson?
Okay, so
wide receiver coach.
Thomas Will, T. Will.
Yeah.
So he was the wide receivers coach, and once Hampton left the team, the head coach, and Coach Russ took over as the head coach, then T. Will moved up to defensive coordinator, and now they have this guy. I'm assuming he came from the LA Tigers amateur football, I think. And he now replaced Coach T. Will.
Wow. I cannot believe all the changes, man, though. This is amazing. in such a short time, though, man. I wasn't expecting it. You know what I mean?
Well, they just got to get through 2, maybe 3 more games, because I don't know if they're going to play that makeup game or not. So they got to get through at least 2 more games,
Yep. And then there's what I don't know what this graphic is. I got to check it out. It's the American
Okay.
National Division.
So this is a little misleading. This is Omaha's standings. Okay. So they have us as 2 and 4 because we didn't get credit for the
Falcons?
Dallas. Yeah, the Dallas game. And so that's why you have Wheeling at 3 and 5 and we're at 2 and 4 because they didn't count that game at all. Otherwise, we would be 3 and 4, would be in that 3rd position and 1 game behind Columbus,
Then you got over here, see where it says in red down here, it says eliminated. In red.
So that's the 2 on the right, the Idaho and the Sioux City.
Right.
The little triangles are red, so those 2 are eliminated. And your Omaha and your Colorado are in yellow because they clinched.
They've already
clinched. It's a matter of who's going to be in first, who's going to be in second. That's not locked in. But your Beaumont is clinched because they got 6-1 record.
So you got 3 teams that have clinched a playoff spot.
Out of 4, yeah.
Out of
4 spots.
And what we're hoping for is Wheeling to beat Lions tonight. That'll keep them out of that 4th clinch spot, right?
Right.
And hopefully, if we can win, that'll move us up to 3 and 4, and maybe get credit for that Dallas game on the 3rd of June, right?
Correct. Yep.
So that would make us 4 and 4.
Because Wheeling and Columbus both play each other tonight, and they play each other next week. So Wheeling has to win twice.
Wow. All right, I got you. But oh man, that's just think if we had just think if we had 10 or 12 teams in the NAL to figure that playoff spot situation. Yeah. This is pretty tough.
It might be easier if you had more teams because then you'd have more playoff positions to fight for. Yeah. This, you only there's 4 teams on our side, American Division, there's only 4 teams. 4 teams are trying to bid for 2 spots. So technically 3 teams are bidding for 1 spot now.
Yeah, so that's
locked in.
It's pretty weird, but I mean, I like it. I just wish the heck, I don't know, maybe the Rouxgaroux will do better tonight. Who knows? I hope so. I think they will, but I hope they don't lose in the last minute. But you never know.
I don't see it coming down to the last minute. I mean, if anything, it'll be a blowout for them.
I'm going to be so hurt. I'll shut the TV off. The Rouxgaroux starts losing. I'm going to shut the TV off. Oh God, I don't know.
If it gets too nasty.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that game here a couple weeks ago with the Dallas Falcons with the guys getting thrown out of the. I mean, what were they, disqualified or they were?
So, of course, the last play, everybody's seen it. Game ends 37-all. Couple players, one took a cheap shot on another player, and that one didn't like it, retaliated back on our player, and one of our player, a totally separate player that wasn't even in the incident, came running across the field and leveled the Dallas player, which started a all-out brawl and emptied out the benches, literally. So the word is that the refs had disqualified more than half of both rosters for leaving the bench area for the brawl. So
the coaches even got involved, didn't they? I thought I saw coaches and referees.
Yeah, there was several Dallas coaches out there trying to break it up because a couple of the coaches, I think, were already on the field since they had the ball at the end. Um, you know, how you always, if you're on offense, you already have one coach out on the field, and then so that I did see him in the videos, but so then they did the ejections. We were supposed to go into overtime. Then they realized, I guess Dallas realized they didn't have enough players because I don't think they had a full 23-man roster, when they showed up in Shreveport. So losing half of them or more than half didn't give them enough, 7 people to play offense and defense, in overtime.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was hoping for, overtime, but that didn't happen.
So Dallas's head coach decided to forfeit the game since they couldn't play, and so Dallas posts on their social media that they won the game, 37-all. They considered it a victory, even though it was a tie. Shreveport posted that it was 37 with the other 37 with an X through it, that it was a victory. If you watch the game, the score bug at the bottom, they added 1 point to it and made it 38-37 that we won. If you actually go to the league website and the crawl across the top of the website has a 1-0 forfeit.
Yep.
And then I saw somewhere else on social media that somebody else scored a 2-0 forfeit because traditionally if it's a forfeit, the lowest score is a safety, so you score it as a 2-0. So for one game, there's 4 different scores.
Yeah, there was over on the YouTube channel for the NAL. I was looking at one of those games. I don't know if it was the Beaumont Renegades one or what, but they have the Rouxgaroux listed as the Beaumont Renegades on the one game there. I can't remember.
Are you talking about tonight's game?
Not tonight's game, but I was going back through and checking some of the older games, from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, the broadcast for which game was that?
It wasn't Beaumont, was it, or was it
Columbus? No, that was the Columbus game.
Yeah,
they had us listed as the Beaumont
Renegades.
No, Beaumont Rouxgaroux.
Beaumont Rouxgaroux, yeah,
something along the lines. Yeah.
Well, yeah, tonight,
excuse me, just as bad tonight. Omaha has us listed as a Louisiana Rouxgaroux.
Oh wow, man! Come on, these guys. Who's doing these YouTube channels?
Well, it's not that one wasn't YouTube. That's actually, if you go to Omaha Beef Football Facebook page, their post advertising the game, which they have they honoring heroes tonight. So like all the EMTs and firemen and police officers and all that tonight. It actually says that the Omaha Beef will be taking on the Louisiana Rouxgaroux.
Well, you know what? Don't be too surprised we aren't called the Louisiana Rouxgaroux next year.
It's possible.
What's the difference? I mean, I'd still like them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it represents the whole state. Like last year, we were the Louisiana Voodoo. So, I mean, even though there was only one team in the state, I guess, it represents the whole state.
Could we have heard something of the future, or something dripped out there a little bit? Somebody maybe knows something and they actually wrote it down in Louisiana Rouxgaroux.
I mean, that's possible, or what we had on our live podcast from Beaumont that was leaked out. That that might be the team next year. So you fill in the blanks.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what, maybe somebody knows something we don't, and they accidentally wrote it out without, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wishful thinking, for next year already. And how about those? I don't want to mention it. Remember we were talking about that new team next year coming in on the NAL?
That's the
I
one.
can't. We're not.
Yeah.
Can't say nothing about that.
That's the one I was referring. So we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it at that.
Leave it right there.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, I'm gonna get ready here, buddy, and I wanted to put our new trailer up, but I didn't download it. I wanted to play our new trailer, but I will next week. I did a little bit different one.
All right.
But I don't know if I even have it on my downloads. I can check it out. I thought I did, but I don't know.
Yeah, that was the end of my notes that I had.
I did have it, and I don't see it. Son of a bee. Well, anyway, I got so much up in my downloads, I got to get out of there anyway. But, well, I'll be looking forward to maybe next week, maybe next Tuesday.
I won't be available Tuesday because I got to work Tuesday. We got company coming to the office Tuesday, so I won't be getting off until 5. So we'll either have to have it late Tuesday or postpone it till Friday or Saturday.
Let me know. We'll work on Friday or Saturday. Sounds good to me. Maybe we can do a little bit extra long one Friday or Saturday.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, I download a lot more graphics. I'll play our new trailer. It's pretty cool. And who knows what may happen tonight? Maybe they'll win. Maybe we'll have something there to talk about.
The media guide's still available on Amazon.
Yep. Cool. Very awesome. Be sure to get yourself a media guide. It's live on.
It's like $5.36, so I kept it low. I'm not making any royalties off of it.
Yep. Well, I gotta order some more too. But anyway, till next week, my friend. This has been another episode of the Rouxgaroux Live Podcast with Curt and Brian, and we will be next week. We'll probably have a longer episode, so stay tuned with us. And I'll catch you later, Brian.
All right, later.
Thank you for my stickers. Thank you for my magnet. Love you, my friend.
No problem.
All right, and till next week, buddy.
All right, later.
Yep.